Southern Sports Now. We welcome you in on a Thursday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. I'm Chase Robinson. We are thrilled to have you along with us for the next hour as we talk all things sports. We've got a lot to dive into today. We'll talk Braves baseball, college football on multiple fronts, and so we'll do that for the next hour. I want to remind you where you can watch us. We are on the East Alabama Now YouTube channel. You can subscribe and check us out there every day. You can comment on our stream there. We're on the East Alabama Now Facebook page. You also can comment and like and share there on East Alabama Now. Check out our Twitter feed at EAN_sports. And that is where you can send us a message or check the link out there to watch Southern Sports Now. So those are the ways you can keep in touch with us and watch Southern Sports Now each and every morning. Again, a lot to get into today. Want to start out, though, it is the first day of June, which is hard to believe. We've got May out of the way. We're at June, and when June hits, I'm college football year round, and I'm sure you've noticed that as we've gotten this show going. College football has no off season, but when June rolls around, I am fired up for football, and so we're going to spend a lot of time talking football from now on, and so we'll start today as we count down to college football. We are 102 days away from the college football season getting going. On September the 1st this year is when college football season will kick off. So we are 102 days away from college football. And so certainly excited, and we've got a lot to do in the next 102 days to get you ready for the 2023 season. As far as high school football, we are 86 days away from August the 24th. That is when high school football will kick off. So 86 days away from high school football season. This just gets me excited, and we will talk a lot of football moving forward here on Southern Sports Now, because that's what you love. That's what we all love, and so we will give you what you love. Let's start out, though, as we do each and every day, with our top 5 headlines. And this is a good top headline. We've had some not good headlines from the Braves the last few days. Braves avoid the sweep. They get the win over the A's 4-2 in the series finale. And good win for the Braves. Offense looked much better last night, which is very promising. Braves are off today. They will take on the Arizona Diamondbacks beginning tomorrow to start the month of June. But I was pleased with the way the offense looked. Schuster had a decent outing on the mound as well. So Braves avoid the sweep, which is very good. We talked about it yesterday. The Oakland, one of the worst teams in baseball. And so for the Braves to be able to get out of that, not get swept, it's big for Atlanta. So great win yesterday for the Braves. Alabama softball begins the Women's College World Series today. They get the World Series going this morning in less than an hour at 11 a.m. That'll be the first pitch of Alabama-Tennessee, first game of the Women's College World Series for 23. And you couldn't ask for a better game to start things off, as the Tide and the Vols have met several times this year. Tennessee with 3 wins, Alabama with 1 as you look at the season. And so Alabama wants to keep their hopes for a World Series alive. They got to get through the SEC champs in both the regular season and the SEC tournament champs in Tennessee. It's going to be a tough road for Alabama. We'll see if Patrick Murphy, Montana Fouts and company can get it done. But the Women's College World Series beginning in less than an hour from now. Jacksonville State came out yesterday as they head into Conference USA for this football season. They will have at least 6 nationally televised games. That's big for Jacksonville State. That's one of the reasons that the Gamecocks wanted to be a part of a conference like Conference USA, move up to FBS, to Division I, is because you are on a much bigger stage. Jacksonville State will start off their season on CBS Sports Network against UTEP there at Burgess Snowfield. And then they've got 4 straight games later September, early October on ESPNU as conference play gets going. And then the last conference game will be on CBS Sports Network. And so that's exciting for Jacksonville State to have the opportunity to be on national TV. And remember, we'll see weeknight games this year for Jacksonville State and Conference USA, as they'll be playing Tuesday, Wednesday night games in the month of October, which is pretty cool as well. More college football news. Could the Big 12 be expanding soon? Well, that's a great question, and the answer will probably come out soon, but I think news will be dropping very soon. Maybe a team like Colorado joining the Big 12, Memphis maybe. There's talk. Big 12 could be adding some teams. They want to stay relevant in the expansion of college football. We saw the Big 10 expand. We've seen the SEC expand. Now, Big 12 doesn't want to just evaporate and go away, so the Big 12 is looking at expanding. And NBA Finals, Heat and the Nuggets begins tonight. Game 1, who's it going to be? Will it be the Miami Heat or the Denver Nuggets? We'll find out, but that series, best of 7 series, begins tonight. So NBA fans, you'll have plenty to watch over the next couple of weeks. Get a lot to get to. Brent Beaird, he covers college football with First Coast News down in Jacksonville, Florida. He's a Heisman voter. He has the Second Helping podcast, SEC football podcast. He's going to join us at 10:20. We're going to talk some Braves baseball coming up next, so we'll look at some highlights, see what's ahead for the Braves in the month of June. We'll do all that next. Roll on this Thursday of Southern Sports Now. Stick around.
We'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
East Alabama Now Local News has been bringing you the best local news coverage for 6 months. And now we're growing.
EAN News will be available to you 5 nights a week with new faces, new content, and coverage that is second to none.
We'll be bringing you the weather that matters to your neighborhood and to you. Rain or shine, you'll be in the know.
Sports always brings communities together, and EAN Sports will have coverage of all of our area events.
East Alabama Now, local news, new faces, same great coverage. Starting 5 days a week, May 1st. EAN Local News, your news on your schedule.
Brings you this segment of Southern Sports Now. Ted's Floors and Beyond has partnered with Welborn Cabinet, and they are now able to offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover that includes cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, and tile showers. They offer 0% interest financing for 12 months and free in-home estimates. If you just need floor, Ted's still the place to go. They've got all you need in hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, and luxury vinyl. Lifetime warranty on flooring installation. They're locally owned and operated, so go by and see Ted's Floors and Beyond and tell them that Southern Sports Now and Chase sent you, and go by and check them out. Highway 431 in Anniston, right before you get to Sachs High School. And so go by and check out Ted's Floors and Beyond, and we appreciate them for bringing you this segment of Southern Sports Now. And we told you we got tons to get to today, and we want to talk some Atlanta Braves baseball because it was a good night for the Bravos last night after a couple of not so great nights. Got the Braves t-shirt on today because I'm excited because they avoided the sweep in Oakland. Let's look at some highlights from the game last night, and it took a little bit for the offense to get going for both teams. Top of the fifth inning, we had our first run scored, and how about 2-run home run from Ozzie Albies, getting down low in the zone and pulling that thing out. Looked good for Ozzie. Bases loaded, and Austin Riley takes one to the shoulder, and that brings in a run for the Braves. And so Oakland really helping Atlanta out last night and getting some runs on the board. But here we see a nice hit. I mean, right textbook hit right between short and third. That's going to score a run for the A's. And their offense has looked really good this week there in Oakland. But the Braves had to make a tough choice there. 3-2 the score is now. But Ronald Acuna getting it done. Nice hit right up the middle that scores a run, and Braves end up winning it 4-2 there in Oakland. So a great win for the Braves last night. Offense again looked much better as you look up and down. Ronald Acuna 2 for 5. Eddie Rosario 1 for 3. Ozzie Albies 1 for 4. Orlando Arcia a 3 for 3 last night. He didn't have the long ball, but he got on base and ended up as well with an RBI. And so, hey, that's scored 2 runs. I mean, for a guy like Orlando Arcia to go 3 for 3, I think that's really big for the Braves. But, again, offense much, much better. As far as pitching goes, we talked about Jared Schuster, a guy that they've had to call up out of Gwinnett to come and fill a hole in the Braves roster. He was able to go 5 1/3 last night. Gave up 3 hits, couple of runs, 4 walks, only had 1 strikeout. He's 2-2 now on the year. You can't blame Schuster. He had a good outing last time, and I think that's not going anywhere, but he's still getting his feet under him. Again, Oakland's offense has been weirdly good the last few nights, but I think he did a good job managing them last night. Chavez came in to finish out that 6th inning. A.J. Minter came in for an inning. Anderson, and then Iglesias came in and wrapped it up last night and was able to get out of the inning. Defense did a great job of closing it down there for Iglesias. So overall, much better performance. They have a day off now that they can kind of breathe a little bit as they travel from Oakland, California down to Arizona as we get ready to take on the Diamondbacks. But let's look at what June looks like for the Atlanta Braves. We mentioned today they have the day off. They start a series with the Diamondbacks tomorrow. So a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series with Arizona before you come home. And then we get into 6 straight games of division play. You got the New York Mets coming in for 3 games. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You turn around and the Nationals come for 3 games into Truist Park. So, this Arizona series is going to be good, especially for pitching, just to see some good bats, because you've got to get ready for what's to come in division play. And we've seen the Braves drop these games to Oakland, who, again, is one of the worst teams in baseball. New York is not playing great right now, but the Braves need to come in ready to play at Truist Park. They got Detroit for 3 games following the Nationals, and then Colorado comes to Truist Park for a 4-game series. So there's a lot of baseball right in a row. Really, from the 6th to the 18th is straight games. You got the 19th off, and then Philadelphia host the Braves, then to Cincinnati, and then they will take on Minnesota for 3 and wrap up June at home with Miami to start July. But a lot of home games in the month of June, which I think the Braves need to take advantage of. Certainly to help them out heading into the rest of the year. But I see these division games with New York, with Washington, and with Philadelphia. I'm circling those, and the Braves need to get all those. They need to get the series. If they don't win every single game, they at least need to win the series to keep themselves in the driver's seat of the NL East because they are very capable of once again winning the NL East. They should. They're the best team in the division, but they're in a little slump right now. So I would circle those division games on my calendar for sure. But we'll see what happens as the Braves get into the month of June. Still a winning record, 33-23, first in the NL East, and so you certainly got to be pleased with what you're seeing. Even though it wasn't a great week for the Braves, you got to be pleased with the record and the direction that they're heading in. Again, Atlanta heads to Arizona. Charlie Morton will be on the mound tomorrow night to start the series. Strider will have Saturday, and Mike Soroka will be back in the rotation on Sunday. So Morton, Strider, Soroka, I like that lineup heading into Arizona. Again, it'll be a good experience for Soroka once again to have a chance to face some batters and get a start under his belt again, because in June you get more into division play, and they're going to need a good arm against the Mets, against the Nationals, and against Philadelphia. They're going to need good arms against all those, but I'm talking specifically against the NL East teams right now. If you can add Schuster in there, if he can get some good starts in division play, that will be huge as well. But I like Morton, I like Strider, and I like Elder. We just got to figure out and really get the arms of Soroka and Schuster ready for these division games, because it's going to be a long summer, a lot of baseball to be played, and we got to keep these arms healthy until Fried and Wright come back in July. And it'd be nice to be in a position when they're able to come back in July where you're like, well, what do we do with these guys? Because they're all performing so well. That's the position you want to be in when they get back, is we have too many arms now. We have too many arms that are high-level performers. That's a good problem to have. We'll see if the Braves can do that, but certainly hope that is the case. We're going to talk college football coming up next. Brent Beaird will join us. SEC spring meetings going on down in Destin. We'll talk about it on the other side. Stick around. More Southern Sports Now in a moment.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content, and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. Steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
If you see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
Southern Sports Now on this Thursday morning. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. I'm Chase Robinson, as we have been talking college football all week. We hit June 1st, SEC spring meetings going on, media days coming up next month, and then the season right around the corner. We're going to talk more college football now. We welcome on Brent Beaird, from college football analyst from First Coast News down in Jacksonville, Florida. He's a Heisman voter. He is co-host of the Second Helping podcast. Brent, always great to talk with you. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm doing well. It's amazing that we're in June, and today's June 1st. But what that means is we have not one but two college football preseason magazines, meaning Lindy's is out, Athlon is out. Chase, there should be some kind of celebration for that. And by July 4th, we will have Phil Steele. Obviously, the main topic going on in the league is what's happening in Destin right now. But we are very excited about all this. And if I can give you an off-the-wall SEC note, which really is kind of exciting to some way, is if people haven't heard this, and this will get out very quickly and will be copied very soon too, I'm sure, but LSU showed off yesterday the first air-conditioned helmet.
Wow.
Air-conditioned helmet now. And I'll be brief about this, but there's a Louisiana-based company called Tiger Air. It's appropriate, is it not? The helmets have a 5-hour lifespan before they need to be charged, and LSU will wear them at practice and during the games. How about that?
Wow.
Listen, if you're talking about technology at its best, that's it, is it not?
It sure is. And I know, Brent, you've been covering college football for a long time. You ever think you would see something like that?
No, I'll be honest with you, no. And I'm sure I'm going to be really interested when other former players hear about this, what they wish they would have had. Now, I don't know if there's something in the helmet that just constantly blows air or what it is, but I just threw that out there as a little side note. I figure we might need a little bit of a laugh today, with all that's going on. But can you imagine, Chase, how much business that company's going to do in the next few months?
You're right about that. There are some teams that are seeing that, and will be having their equipment managers checking into that immediately. I guarantee you. But you mentioned a lot going on down in Destin at the spring meetings, and I think the big topic of conversation, 8 or 9 game schedule. What you think, Brent? How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, I think they should go to 9, but I don't think they're ready for that yet, unfortunately. I think Commissioner Greg Sankey would like to see them go to 9. The presidents and athletic directors meet today, and then the presidents will have another meeting tomorrow. And Chase, the reality is everything we do in athletics, it still comes down to the presidents. And frankly, even Greg Sankey really doesn't work for the ADs and coaches. He works for the presidents. So we need to keep that in mind. But what we thought would happen would be that they would be ready to go to a 9-game schedule. Unfortunately or fortunately, that looks like it may not be the case. Now, when they get in the room and they start talking, they may know more than they think they know. But at this point, the big thing is the ADs are saying that they don't have enough information yet, and particularly on the college football playoff and the money that's going to be involved. Chase, let's be honest here. Another thing that's going on is the SEC is thinking, okay, if we go from 8 to 9, that means that ESPN, our carrier next year, needs to up the ante. And again, ESPN is not just interested in college football, but a lot of other sports. So and this is just a guess here, okay? I think by the end of tomorrow when Greg Sankey stands at the mic for the last time for the meetings in Destin, I think he's probably going to say either we have tabled this until further discussion, or we're going to stay with the status quo, and that would be the 8-game schedule for 24. But Chase, if you're going to say that, what you need to say is, okay, we're gonna stay status quo next year, 24, when the playoffs expand and Oklahoma and Texas join the conference. But in 25 or 26, we're going to 9. Chase, do you think that in the minds of the fans, do you think that would go over a little bit better than just to say we're staying status quo for next year?
I think it does. I think they, if they take that route, I think they should at least do that. I mean, how much longer can they table this discussion, Brent, do you think, before they have to say this is what we're going to do?
Look, they've been talking about this for maybe 20 years, frankly. Now, they've gotten really serious about it over the last few years, but I don't believe that they don't have enough information. I think they've got information to make a decision. And the other thing that's going to be brought up is, we don't have the schedule done yet. Well, what we learned from 2020, didn't we, Chase, is because of COVID, you can make a schedule in about a day and a half.
Yep.
So I think this is another thing to look at too. But again, as a consultant for bowl games and the college football playoff told me recently, never forget, it's all about the money. And a lot of this is to get ESPN's attention to come back and give them more money for a ninth SEC game.
We're talking college football with Brent Beaird. And Brent, several coaches have come out saying they're for this 9-game schedule. Some coaches say, no, I'd rather have an 8-game schedule. Nick Saban has come out more in favor of the 8-game because of the kind of the 3 permanent opponents he would have. What do you make of what kind of the coaches are saying about this?
Well, Coach, it depends on the coach. I mean, Saban at one point a few years ago would have played a 10-game schedule, wouldn't you, Chase?
Yeah.
After the 2020 season and winning the championship. But here's the other end of this, and let's be honest about this too. You've got a lot of coaches at the bottom of the league, and their thought process is, oh man, this may keep us out of a bowl game, and it may just be another loss. So I think we've got to be realistic about that, in that we've got a kind of the dividing line, but the coaches won't make the decisions. Again, it will be athletic directors and presidents. I'm not saying they won't give some thought about what their coaches tell them, or at least they should. But in the long run, this is going to be what the presidents think will benefit the schools, and that's where the decision will be made.
Yeah, for sure. And so hopefully we'll hear at least something out of Destin this week about the schedules. As far as the playoff goes, Brent, we're all looking forward to seeing this thing and what it'll look like and the expansion. You mentioned how the presidents and athletic directors are curious how this will tie into the playoff. How do you think the playoff will work with a 9-game schedule, and will we see more SEC teams, you think, in a 12-team playoff?
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. I think we could have maybe 3 SEC teams on a regular basis. That would not be surprising at all. I think probably the participants in the SEC championship game, you could certainly see them going. And then another team from the SEC that might have had a really good year and just quite, for whatever reason, did not get in. I think that's very possible. But all in all, it's really hard to describe the excitement that we're going to have from the expanded playoff and what that means. And again, we need to reiterate this. Next year, this is the last year to divisions for the SEC. The SEC, like many conferences, are taking divisions away. And part of that, Chase, is because, for instance, the SEC, they do not want another situation they had last year to where your champion is undefeated, or at least the champion of the East in Georgia, and you're playing a team in LSU that has multiple losses that won the West. They don't want to see that again. So what this is going to lead to will be, for your conference championship game, will be the top two teams in each conference basically will go. And I think within 3 to 5 years, basically every conference in the nation will have a 9-game conference schedule.
Yeah, I could see that that happening as well. We're talking college football with Brent Beaird. He covers college football for First Coast News down in Florida. Heisman voter, also with the Second Helping SEC football podcast. Well, Brent, let's talk some other things going on out at the SEC spring meetings. Of course, the talk with NIL and transfer portal, but the gambling issue is something that they're discussing down there. And of course, we've seen it most recently with the Alabama baseball program. Do you think the conference can take steps even this week to kind of, whether it's education or whatever, kind of help the league as far as the growth of sports gambling?
They're going to be very heavy on education that is coming up. Now, they do, in fairness, I think, a pretty good job. It doesn't always sink in as we're seeing, but I think they'll redouble their efforts with gambling because they know that is a unbelievable issue. But Chase, let's also be frank about this. And I'm not saying all of them do by any stretch, but I think there are probably more players that gamble, and a lot of it probably is just for fun, but they're still gambling.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're betting on their own team. I don't think that's going on necessarily, but I think you've got a lot of players who are, and this is something that will be really overemphasized, and it should be. And I'll tell you, nothing that's going to be really emphasized is, and this is unintended consequence, players get NIL money. Well, what do they want to get? First of all, they want to get a fast car. And look no further than University of Georgia, that's had way too many players involved. Kirby Smart was asked about this, and Destin, and he said we're handling it internally. But Chase, that's just a reality of what we've got right now. When you're talking about NIL and you're talking about the money that schools are giving out, when you're that young, you really don't know what to do with your money, and you purchase some things you probably shouldn't, or maybe some that are, or such as cars that are a lot faster than you need. So these are all issues during the course of the summer, and when fall camp starts, that are going to be heavily emphasized inside the SEC school meeting rooms.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And we're talking with Brent Beaird, talking some college football. Want to get to some on the field. We're at the start of June, 102 days away from college football kicking off, Brent. I want to talk about some specific teams out of the SEC. Georgia Bulldogs, two-time national champions now. Is Georgia going away anytime soon? Are we going to have another team that could win the SEC and win it all, or is Georgia kind of stuck in that place right now?
Well, right now for the SEC, it's still a Georgia-Alabama battle because Georgia and Alabama both have the best rosters. And frankly, along with Ohio State, those are the three best rosters in the nation. Clemson is in there. And I'll give you another team that is really rocketing up the standings is LSU. LSU this year is going to have a great roster. I will not be surprised at all in Nashville when we're there for SEC Media Days that LSU is not the team to beat, according to the sports writers and the media over Alabama in the predictions that are coming out. For instance, in Lindy's, Georgia's 1, Bama's 4, and LSU's 5.
Wow.
That tells you how close they are at this point. So, but right now, Georgia winning 2 in a row. Look, go ahead and pencil them in for Atlanta because, Chase, if people have not looked at Georgia's schedule, it's embarrassingly easy. But in fairness, now they were set to play Oklahoma this year. That did not happen. So Georgia will have maybe Chase 3 competitive games before they get to Atlanta.
Yeah, and that is an interesting schedule Georgia ended up with for sure. You mentioned LSU, and I want to hit on them. What do you think's changed at LSU? I mean, is it Brian Kelly that has got this going in the right direction? I mean, obviously we saw the national championship in 2019, but that had a lot to do with Joe Burrow. What has gotten LSU on this track where they once again could be in the SEC championship?
An LSU beat writer told me not long ago. He said this is the first coach LSU's had that's not a cartoon character. He said that, I didn't. But look, there's 2 things going on here. They've got an incredible roster, and they always will. They've got unbelievable talent. I mean, just name a position, and they're going to be very, very good. This year, they're going to be picked over Alabama because Alabama doesn't know who the quarterback is, but LSU does, and Jaden Daniels, and he's going to be one of the best, frankly, anywhere. But I mean, just go up and down that roster for LSU, and you will find some unbelievable players. Mason Smith, you remember the kid that got hurt?
Yeah.
Defensive lineman. In the Florida State game, well, he is back. I've heard an LSU beat writer say that he thought that Mason Smith was the best player on the team, not the defense, Chase, the team, which is a mouthful, particularly when you're talking about Harold Perkins during this time. But again, Kelly's a tremendous coach. I mean, when you break Newt Rockney's record at Notre Dame, you kind of know what you're doing. So, frankly, he's just now getting started at LSU.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what he can do with that program. Already took him to the SEC championship in year 1. I think he's a great fit for LSU, obviously, as we're seeing. Brent, Alabama, new quarterback on the roster. We saw, kind of the 4 quarterbacks during the spring. They've added a new one from Notre Dame with offensive coordinator there from Notre Dame as well. What do you make of this quarterback room at Alabama?
Well, I think they'll be fine. I think the big thing for Alabama is they've got, I think, an offensive line that's going to be leaps and bounds better. Frankly, this year, which will make a huge difference. Tommy Rees is going to make a big difference with these quarterbacks. Also, I think the reality of this is you probably don't go out and get the Buckner kid from Notre Dame if he's not going to probably at least intentionally be your starter at this point either. I like Jalen Milroe, but I'm not sure he's consistent enough, particularly in the passing game. I think their quarterback of the future is Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is absolutely tremendous. But this running back room is going to be really good. Also, Jason McClellan obviously comes back. And you've got the freshmen coming in who are going to be the Haynes kids, unbelievable. Yep. And they've got really capable wide receivers who I think that they've got to step up and they got to play better, like Ja'Cory Brooks and particularly Jermaine Burton. Now, this is his year. He's either going to get it done or not. But the main thing I like about this Alabama team is they're going back to what made them who they are, and that's being physical at the point of attack with the offensive and defensive lines, attention to detail. And Kevin Steele, I think, is going to do wonders with this defense because frankly, the last few years, it's been too complicated for these kids. They just they're athletic enough. Let them use their speed and their power and do what they need to do. I think you'll see I'm not saying we're going back to 2008, 2009 Alabama necessarily, because of what they can do in the passing game. But I think this team's going to be better this year. Obviously, a huge game with Texas. That's going to be an early test for the Tide.
Yeah, it will be for sure, and it was last season, and certainly think it will be this year. I want to get your thoughts on a couple more teams before we let you go, Brent. First, a team out of your state, the Florida Gators. What do we make of now a Anthony Richardson minus Florida Gators team?
They're going to be a better football team. It's going to be now. You've heard the old fable of the tortoise and the hare. Well, Billy Napier's the tortoise. And it's just going to take a long time because I can tell you, Dan Mullen did him no favors in recruiting. Now, their quarterback's going to be Graham Mertz, who's out of the Big Ten, obviously. And he's going to be more of a game manager than anything else. But he'll make normal plays, which is something they didn't really have. They've got maybe the best running back room in the league, Montrell Johnson and ETN. I think the offensive line is going to be fine. But Austin Armstrong is their X factor. The 29-year-old D coordinator from Southern Miss in Alabama. He's going to do wonders for them. And I mean just wonders. And it's not going to happen overnight, but they're recruiting well. But Napier's going to get it done. When your mentors or Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney, eventually the light's coming on, isn't it, Chase? And they're going to be much better.
Yeah, very good point there, Brent. Last team I want to talk about, South Carolina, had such a great end to the season. Spencer Rattler's back. Where's South Carolina at? Are we going to see what we saw towards the end of the season? Could we see that all year from South Carolina? What's up with the Gamecocks?
Well, the past 2 years under Shane Beamer, they've really done well in November. That they made a November to remember. Spencer Rattler coming back at quarterback, I think really helps them. He's actually got a couple of years of eligibility left if he chooses to use them, but he may be gone after that. They've got to get more help at wide receiver besides Antoine Wells. I think that's going to be important. Defensively, I think they'll be okay. But big game early with North Carolina, and then the CBS game of the week to start the season at Georgia. So that will be a real litmus test for them. There were a lot of media that questioned their hiring of Dowell Loggins, the offensive coordinator who came from Arkansas. So we will see what kind of fit that happens with that. But I still think, Chase, that they can win 8 or 9 games. If they win some of these 50-50 games, that would make a huge difference for them. Still got to get some playmakers, but I do give this coaching staff that has really come along over the last few years with Shane Beamer a lot of credit, because not saying that they're going to win the East and supplant Georgia. They don't have the roster to do that yet. But look, if he'll go a long way if they can stay around 7-5 and 8-4 until he gets his players in there.
Good stuff. Brent Beaird, always great to talk college football with you. You can see him on First Coast News down in Jacksonville, Florida. He on the Second Helping SEC Football Podcast. Brent, always great to talk with you. Great to have you on today. We'll do it again real soon, but appreciate your time.
Always, and remind your listeners and viewers, watch the meetings in Destin. Some decision either on Thursday or Friday this week that will impact us for quite a while.
Yeah, good stuff there. Thanks, Brent. Brent Beaird, joining us, talking some college football. Appreciate his time today, as he is a veteran in the college football broadcasting business. We'll jump to a break here. Want to dive into a new softball academy opening up in the area and more as we roll on. Stick around.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brodney Sneed from both CARES and Direct Primary Care. Direct Primary Care is an exciting new model of medical care growing on both the East and West Coast. It's been recommended by Forbes and the American Academy of Family Physicians and others for individuals or small businesses with or without health insurance. The pure simplicity of a membership model streamlines the burden of medical care. It eliminates 60% of the overhead. That streamlining allows providers time to focus on patients with free, no copay, no deductible, unhurried office visits or telehealth visits with minimal waiting room time. It produces same or next day appointments and access by text or telephone during and after hours. It saves you from leaving work, wasting time and getting exposed in a waiting room, and the convenience and cost with barriers removed helps one avoid letting problems like a sore throat turn into an expensive ER or hospital visit for pneumonia. If you're interested, search the web for CARES Direct Primary Care.
Southern Sports Now continues on this Thursday. Glad you're hanging out with us as we have accomplished a lot so far. Still got some more to get to as we are live on YouTube, live on Facebook, on the East Alabama Now pages, and there is a new softball academy here in Anniston, in the Calhoun County area. Grit Softball Academy has officially opened up. They had the ribbon cutting last week, and they've got a big summer planned. But this gives you, East Alabama folks, a place to go for top-of-the-line softball training from three folks who have come together to make this possible, to give the athletes in this area a chance to work on their softball. Co-founder Carly Olivas talked to me yesterday about kind of what Grit Softball Academy is and really what it stands for.
The name is actually an acronym. It means growth, resiliency, intentionality, and trust. And all of those words really kind of encompass what we want to bring to this community. We really want to be intentional and grow our girls and just trust, get the community to trust us with their kids. It's a big impact factor. We really want to just bring the sport of softball to these girls, to the rec leagues around here, to the travel ball. And we really brought this out of just a need in the community.
You know, it is a need in the community. There's several baseball facilities that do huge things in this area, and so now for softball players to have a chance to to stay here and to get really good instruction. Grit is located right there at the Calhoun County Sports Complex, formerly known as Woodland Park. They've opened up right across the parking lot from there, so it's right next to a really good softball complex. And so this is big for the community. And Olivas also talked about that and how you don't have to travel elsewhere to get good softball instruction. Now it's right here in East Alabama.
We're here to bring private lessons, camps. I mean, we've got we bring in JSU players. We're bringing in D1 athletes from around the country, just through people that we know and networking with coaches. So to have something like this in this community where you don't have to travel to Birmingham, you don't have to travel to Atlanta, and get this quality coaching is really something kind of new and big around here.
They've got a big summer planned, all kinds of camps and chance for maybe you or your child, grandchild, whatever it is, to learn the game of softball. They've got a big selection of camps. Carly Olivas also talked to us about what they have planned this summer.
We've got beginning softball school that's a 3-week program for ages 8 to 12, or if they're in their first year and maybe they're a little older, they can participate. But that'll be with the 3 co-founders. We'll be leading that out here at Woodland Park. It's a 3-week program, 3 times a week. I mean, we've got that. We've got a slapper camp. We've got a pitching and catching clinic. We've got, defense. I mean, we have all kinds of stuff that you can find really on our Facebook page. We've got all the links to sign up.
Yeah, check out Grit Softball Academy there on Facebook for a full list of what they have coming up and more information on Grit Softball Academy. But we're glad to have them in East Alabama. We'll take a break, come back and wrap things up here on this Thursday, next on Southern Sports Now.
We're excited to announce that starting this April, we'll be entering into the cabinet business. With that in mind, we're going to change our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond encompasses everything that we do in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content, and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
If you see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
Southern Sports Now, part of East Alabama Now. Glad you're joining us. I'm Chase Robinson. We've had a great show today. Before we get out of here, big news yesterday coming out of Conference USA and Jacksonville State, as they will have 6 nationally televised games this season. They'll start off a Week 0 game against UTEP. CBS Sports Network will pick that up. That will be at Burgess Snow Field to get the season started. They'll have 4 straight conference games on ESPNU. A couple of those will be the weeknight Tuesday, Wednesday games. A couple of those will be Saturday games, but they'll wrap up conference play against FIU on CBS Sports Network as well. The rest of the games will be either on ESPN Plus, ESPN3, or if another ESPN network picks them up. But that's really exciting. 6 conference games or 6 games on national TV. Part of the reason the Gamecocks went with with moving up to the FBS with Conference USA is more exposure for the university, and they're getting that with national TV games, and so that is exciting for Jacksonville State to have the opportunity to play on CBS Sports Network, to play on ESPNU and other ESPN networks. Exciting stuff for Jacksonville State coming up for this college football season. Before we get out of here, I want to tell you about a new segment that we will start tomorrow, and that is the Southern Sports Now mailbag. And so we want you to send in your questions, and I will answer them on the show tomorrow. So the mailbag will open every Friday beginning tomorrow. So how do you submit your questions? You can send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can send us a message on the East Alabama Now Facebook page, or you can send us a direct message on the EAN Twitter account at EAN_sports. So submit your questions for the Southern Sports Now mailbag, and we will open that mailbag up tomorrow and get those questions out, get those answered, and talk about whatever you want to talk about. So you're going to drive that segment of content tomorrow in our Southern Sports Now mailbag. So again, you can email us, Facebook or Twitter. No actual letters that you can send in. We'd like to get them before next week, and so we'll do that every week. So be thinking of some questions. You can send them to us all week long at those places, but we'll answer them on Friday. So looking forward to diving into that beginning tomorrow here on Southern Sports Now. That is all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us, for hanging out with us. Appreciate Brent Beaird for joining us, talking some college football as the SEC spring meetings going on. Lots going on with that. We're 102 days away from college football season. We'll talk more college football and more coming up tomorrow. College baseball tomorrow as well. College World Series begins in just a few minutes. Alabama will take on Tennessee. So busy day. Join us tonight on the EAN Local News. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. for more Southern Sports Now. Have a great rest of your Thursday.